What's up everyone, MeJP2 here, and in today's video I will be bringing back Swablu. This thing, it's a lot of fun, and it's also very good into Annihilape because it's just able to hit it for super effective with both the fast move and the charge move of Ariados. And for some reason it has the coverage move of Ice Beam, which I'm not sure how many other flying types have that one that are not ice types themselves, which makes it kind of interesting because sometimes people don't see it coming. So let's get to the battles. Alright, so into the first battle, and we lead a Swablu into Shadow Drapion. This is not good, so I'm going to immediately safe switch my Shadow Machamp, because Shadow Machamp can at least hit for neutral with the cheaper move, and the Primeape is restricted to hitting for resisted with Rage Fist. Opponent then sends in Azu. As you can see, Azu is pretty bad for my entire line, so this game could just be over on the spot, but we're actually able to get a shield with a cross chop. And should they go for a farm down, I'll make it to another cross chop. They might have to double shield here, and they do. Now I'll probably have to give both shields back immediately, just because Primeape is going to have to shield 2 Ice Beams, because Ice Beam would deal basically irreparable damage to my Primeape. So the opponent then proceeds to pivot into Swampert. I farm up, CMP tie them, and I go for a close combat. Now I was fully expecting this to KO, but it does not. They barely live it, and all of a sudden I'm just left with a Swablu against 3 Pokemon. Granted, they're all very low HP, but look at this. They send in Drapion, and they go for an Aqua Tail. That Aqua Tail doesn't even do that much damage. Like, Swablu has, like, respectable bulk for some reason. Opponent then tries to make a catch onto Azu, but I know how much I can farm up here. I farm up so I'm 2 Astonishes away, or actually no, just 1, and they're not going to be able to farm me down with Poison Sting, so I make an Ariados, and we're fully able to sweep that endgame with a Swablu, of all things. Into the next battle, and we lead Swablu into a Dunsparce. This is why I'm running double fighters in the back, because Dunsparce could be painful. The opponent sends in a Feraligatr as their response. Now, I always Rage Fist. I probably should have CC'd there, but I know that the moment that I do go for a CC is the time that a Feraligatr is going to decide to shield, so I just Rage Fist, because I know I can just double shield and leave with a lot of boosts and a decent amount of energy on my Primeape, so I can almost guaranteed get whatever shields I have to spend back, because there's basically nothing that wants to tank a close combat from a Primeape, especially when it's double boosted, and now triple boosted. See how much damage that Rage Fist did? I'm pretty sure if I had gone for a close combat, that would have gotten him in the red. I didn't though, because I knew I could make another move and get a shield, and now they send in Talonflame with... Well, sorry, they didn't send it in, they sent it in earlier. But they have a Talonflame with a basically absurd amount of energy. And now, Swablu actually tanks that move, and it tanks it to a point where they have to go for another move, so they just send in their Dunsparce. Now, I'm going to farm up and go for a cross chop into the Dunsparce. Dunsparce actually gets taken out by that. I wasn't expecting that. But now, we're going to be able to go for a cross chop. Cross chop will take out the Talonflame from that health range, and we are able to take that game. We lead Swablu into Dugong in the next battle. This thing cannot catch a break. I send in Primeape, and this Dugong's on Frost Breath for some reason. Not entirely sure why Ice Shard is definitely better. Actually, no, it's probably because Ice Shard is Legacy. This trainer probably just did not have an Elite TM. But regardless, it's not going to be that good for them. They do go for a debuff, but then they send in a Drapion. Now, I'm going for a Rage Fist here. This is probably a mistake. And as they no-shield it, yeah, it is a mistake. Now, they can Aqua Tail me. My Primeape actually lives it though, so having a decently high rank one, I think it's about rank 100 or something, actually pays off, because I'm able to tank that and get a close combat off, just straight up taking switch from them. Now, my Machamp will cross chop the Dugong. Dugong just lets it go, and in the back, it's a Shadow Golurk. Golurk meet Swablu, they just concede the match, and that game's over. We lead into Talonflame in the next battle. Talonflame was very much like everywhere when I was doing these battles for some reason, despite it not being like the Love Cup or something. But now the opponent flame charges. I'm going to actually shield, and I'm going to go for an Ariados. I'm hoping since I shielded, they'll want to shield back, but they don't. I'm going to go for another Ariados, and this one will get them low enough where they have to throw a move, or they will just get farmed down by Astonish. Second flame charge takes me out, and now I was actually able to get a farm down there, which was great. Now the opponent sends in Diggersby, which that is not really a response to Primeape. I'm going to Rage Fist, they're going to shield, and I'm going to close combat. Now this will just straight up take them out. And it does. What do they have in the back? They have a Morpeko. And now that's not very good for them. They're going to go for an Aura Wheel. Not entirely sure why. Psychic Fangs is easily the better option there. And because they didn't, I'm pretty sure that they don't have a Psychic Fangs here. They might, but they don't throw it either way. So I'm going to go for a Cross Chop. Cross Chop will take them out. Even if they had taken out my Machamp, Primeape just farms them down, so we take that game. There's a lead we were looking for. Swablu into Annihilape. If they have Ice Punch, this gets kind of rough, but they just straight Rage Fist. Swablu's a normal type, and it's got decent bulk. So look at the amount of damage that Rage Fist does, or look at the amount of damage that Rage Fist doesn't do, actually. Now, they're going to make a very nice catch on a Dunsparce. I should have seen that coming, but I didn't. Now, I'm going to send in Machamp, because Machamp's going to just deal better into Dunsparce, because we have Cross Chop instead of Rage Fist. So now Cross Chop will just take them out from this range, I think, and they actually shield. Now, I thought they were going to throw a move there. Pretty sure they had enough energy, but it looks like they wanted to double shield and farm down, but they're not going to be able to. And they just go down 2 shields, lose a bunch of energy, and I'm pretty sure this game immediately ends because of that. I'm going to send in Swablu, and they're going to make a catch. It's also on a Clodsire, which is not that good. Thankfully, we have 2 shields and a Primeape. This game basically ended when that happened, because now Rage Fist is just going to continuously deal more and more damage. So I'm going to shield the Sludge Bomb. Of course they're on Sludge Bomb, that means that they have a spare me move. But now, shield this Sludge Bomb. I can farm up to a bit more energy. I should be throwing the Rage Fist first, though, so just so the Karate Chops can deal more damage. But I don't, which is a bit of a misplay, because if they had more HP, then it might have let them live. But they don't have enough HP, so the Rage Fists take them out. And now we have a Rage Fist for the Annihilape. Takes them out, and we do take that game. We see Galarian Moltres on the lead in the next battle. Not a good lead. I'm going to immediately send in Machamp, and I just decided to go for a Cross Chop before they make it to a move. I just want some damage, and that is what I did. Damage. Now I'm going to go for another Cross Chop because they appeared with not been counting, I guess. And then they send in Shadow Superior, and 2 Cross Chops takes out Shadow Superior. And I make it to a second Cross Chop. So now I just get both their shields if they want to keep switch. There goes their shield, and now I'm just going to send in Swablu. They can Frenzy here, or they can Aerialist. I'm pretty sure they need 2 of either to take me out. Maybe they could go for a Frenzy and an Aerialist, but I'm just going to shield one of them, so we're able to leave with a bunch of energy. I knew they'd send in Moltres, so I'm just going to go for an Aerialist. Even if they have 2 moves, this is CMP. So I can shield the Ancient Power, and as long as they didn't get the boost, which they didn't, I'll be able to go for an Aerialist. That'll take them out. And in the back, it's Feraligatr. Now, what I probably should have done was try and just immediately switch into Primeape to CC them, or force them to throw energy, but I don't. And they then farm up and lose CMP to my Primeape, so I'm going to be able to go for a Rage Fist. They can go for a Hydro Cannon here, but I'm running a normal Primeape, and they're on a normal Feraligatr, no Shadows, so the Hydro Cannon doesn't KO, and I'm just able to farm them down. We lead Swablu into probably one of the worst things we could see in the next battle. I'm going to immediately send in Primeape, and the opponent responds with a Mana Buzz. Now, the fun part about Primeape is that if you play it right, you can just flip switch here. They can go for an Aerialist. They're not on Air Slash, so they never farm me down, and one Aerialist, well, it does a bunch, does not take me out. Now, I probably should have thrown a Close Combat before that, just so that I could get a shield, but it's fine either way. I will be able to just Close Combat the Mana Buzz. If they want to shield it, they can. If they don't, they lose switch. And then they send in their own Primeape, and I will be going for a Close Combat because this will get their shield. So we're back on shield parity, but they have a Primeape that has, I think, 2 Karate Chops of advantage. And then they make a catch of the Aerialist on a Steelix, which is kind of annoying, but I knew that they'd have to send out the Steelix eventually, and my Machamp should be ready for it. They can Psychic Fangs me, but it's not going to deal enough, I don't think, to where they can farm me down, thankfully, because if it did, I think I'd just lose in the spot. They're going to shield their Steelix, but I'm going to make it to another Cross Chop, and this is a normal Steelix, but Cross Chop will still take him out. I actually want to get a bit of an undercharge so Swablu could leave with more energy, but it still takes him out. In hindsight, I do think that might have lost me the game, I'm not sure, but now I call a Rage Fist, and I'm just going to win the game now. Even if this is another Rage Fist bait, they're not at a Rage Fist plus a close combat, so I'm just going to be able to make it to an Aerialist. Aerialist will be taking out the Primeape, and we will be taking that game. Yeah, Wigglytuff just beats this whole team. I really didn't think about this when building it, but I did need to show that this team just gets swept by a Wigglytuff. Astonish is resisted, Ariados does very little to a Wigglytuff, and I can make it to a second one, but this probably barely even gets him into the yellow. And I have no real fast move pressure with Karate Chop, so not good. They Swift, but they're at 2 of them, so I am now down 2 shields, and basically going to be down 2 Pokemon as well. I'm going to Rage Fist. They probably will shield this. They do. And now I don't even make it to another one, so I'm just forced to pivot into Machamp. And now they have two more Pokemon. So I can cross-chop this Marowak, but I'm just getting taken out, so yeah. If I see a Wigglytuff, it's basically GG's. I don't even get to make it to a close combat into this thing. I don't think it would have mattered because there's nothing that can't farm me down there, but we do lose that game. We see a very good lead at the next battle as we lead into Lurantis. Now, Lurantis is on Fury Cutter, and that is resisted. They have to do, I think, Superpower to deal any non-resisted damage, and they actually shield the Ariados. They then safe switch a Bastiodon, which is, first of all, not a good idea because Bastiodon is one of the most inflexible Pokemon, and also it got nerfed recently. They then proceed to shield the Cross Chop, and I'm just gonna go for another Cross Chop. And now, they can send in Lurantis, but I'm just letting this go. Leaf Blade takes me out, but I have a Swablu, and watch this. Swablu's decently bulky. That Leaf Blade barely gets me into the yellow. Now I can go for an Aerial Ace. This is super effective. It won't take him out, but it'll deal a lot of damage. At this point, I just send in Primeape. They have Diggersby in the back, and the game's over. They just concede. Into the next battle, and we lead Swablu into another Golurk. Absolutely dominant lead as Mud Slap is double resisted, and the opponent then safe switches Mandibuzz. Now, I don't have a real good response here because Ice Beam still does not two-shot Mandibuzz with Swablu, so I just have to send in Machamp. Now, I will be going for a Cross-Chop bait. Opponent does shield it, and now I can go for a Stone Edge. In hindsight, I probably would have baited here, even if I hadn't known they were going to shield, because now it's difficult. So I can double shield the Aerial Aces that they're about to send, but they're probably going to try and stun me. I'm very aware of that, but I'm not sure what I can do about it, and they send in Claude. Claude is very painful for this team. I'm going to Rage Fist, and now I think this is an Earthquake. Earthquake probably just takes me out, and if not, it puts me in perfect farm down, so yeah, I just get farm down. Now I'm forced to send in Swablu, and I do have Ice Beam, but Swablu, not the most attack, so it's just gonna get hit by a Stone Edge, and that basically immediately ends this game. So I'm just gonna concede the match because my Machamp did not have enough HP to win that. We have something on the lead that is double weak to Ice, and Shadow Jumpluff, they're probably not aware of that. So I am just gonna let this move through, Aerial Ace, just let it through, and then I just make a mistake of not throwing the Ice Beam immediately, and I have to tank another Aerial Ace because of it. Now we're gonna go for the Ice Beam, and look at this. That does a lot of damage. It's kind of annoying, it doesn't even KO though, but that's Swablu for you. Now I have to send in Primeape and commit a shield, but I'll get a bunch of energy, and that's scary. So now, they're going to send in Annihilape, and I should be able to make it to 3 Rage Fists here, but they're not stupid. They're letting the first one go, and they're going to shield the next ones, because these ones will deal more damage. They're going to shield this, and now I have to shield it back, but I'm pretty sure I just lose here because of it. Rage Fist, I'm just going to get countered down, and then my Machamp can't really do much either. I don't even fully charge that Rage Fist because I realize the futility. They then overfarm, and I make it to a Cross Chop. Unfortunately, though, Cross Chop does not take him out, so we do lose that game. We see Flygon on the lead in the next battle. This is a Pokemon that's also double weak to Ice. Now, they also throw an Alignment, which is not good for them, and I'm going to go for an Ice Beam. Now, it's just a Swablu, right? I was hoping they wouldn't shield just because of that, but I'm guessing they shielded because they didn't know what I had. Regardless, Dragon Claw, gonna deal some okay damage, and then they send in Arcanine, and I'm not able to switch out, which is annoying because I just lose an Ice Beam. And Arcanine's also decently problematic because they have Psychic Fangs, and I don't have much bulk, so I can just get fast moved through. They're gonna shield the Cross Chop, and now I'm I'm just going to take the Psychic Fangs. I was pretty sure that a Rage Fist wouldn't KO, so I just decided that I'd commit the shield so I can get a bit more farm. Rage Fist then does KO, and I'm going to Rage Fist the Flygon. Now, it's going to come down to what they have in the back, and in the back, they have a Gastrodon. Thankfully, we live the 2 Mud Slaps, and this is a double boosted close combat. Say goodbye to Gastrodon, and we do take that game. We lead Swablu into Shadow Skuntank in the next battle. This is a pretty bad lead. I'm going to have to immediately say switch my Machamp, but I'm pretty sure they can just double shield through my Machamp if they want. However, that is kind of the plan. Then they send in Clefable, and Clefable can be very bad for my team, but we have a Stone Edge, so they let that through, and that deals a absurd amount of damage. Now, I'm going to send in Swablu. Swablu can tank a Moonblast. It can actually tank it better than Primeape. They do Meteor Mash me, which does a lot of damage, but now they send in the Skuntank, and I'm just going to Rage Fist through it. We're going to go for the first Rage Fist. They're probably not going to shield this. If they do, it's not the smartest play, but they do shield it. I'm assuming they thought I might be on Cross Chop or something. Does Primeape even learn Cross Chop? I don't know. Regardless, I'm going to actually overfarm here. I don't know who wins CMP, Skuntank or Primeape, but I'm not sure. So I do just decide to overfarm. Then they have Dunsparce in the back, so we just win. This is a double boosted, super effective close combat from a high attack Pokemon, and Dunsparce is gone. Into the next battle, and we lead Swablu into a Whiscash. Now, Swablu is not terrible into Whiscash, but it's the stat difference, and also, Scald, they need 2 Scalds to KO, so it's not terrible. They will go for the first Scald, and then they send in Dugong. I do decide to send in Primeape just because I can reset the attack debuffs, so I'm going to go for a Rage Fist. Rage Fist will hit them, and they go for a shield. Now, I'm going to shield the Drill Run for some reason. Why would they Drill Run there? I have no idea. But now, I'm going to be able to go for another Rage Fist. This won't KO, so it's kind of unfortunate, but I can just commit a shield. This probably is an Icy win this time. It is, and then they send in Talonflame. Now, Talonflame can be problematic. I'm going to go for a Rage Fist. Opponent actually shields it, and now I'm going to go for a close combat. I could have gone for one more Karate Chop there. Minor misplay on my end. Close combat does absurd damage. And then Talonflame, I sent in Swablu to force him to throw, but they didn't even throw. So I just have an Ariados loaded. Ariados kind of just wrecks them. Now I have Machamp into their Whiscash, and the opponent concedes the match there. I'm not sure if that was over, but they certainly thought it was. We lead Swablu into Medicham in the next battle. This should just be a good matchup for Swablu, but there is the stat difference. Now they say switch Licky Licky, and I'm just going to send in my Shadow Machamp. This is one where Shadow Machamp is better because Rage Fist is double resisted. Opponent shields the Cross Chop, so I'm going to be shielding back. They Earthquake, that probably would have just KO'd Machamp because Machamp is not very bulky. But now, I'm going to actually shield a Body Slam. Kind of stupid on my end, but I didn't know how much a Body Slam would do. I then proceed to try and undercharge. I fail the undercharge miserably, and then I make the mistake of letting them make it to a move. Now, thankfully, it's an Ice Punch. Ice Punch actually does not KO my Machamp, even with the horrid IVs that I have. And then I'm going to send in Swablu. They're low enough where Ariados should actually be threatening, and they do shield it. Now, I was trying to catch an Ice Punch there, and I don't think I did. Now, they Dynamic Punch the Primeape, and that does a lot of damage. And then they have a Talonflame in the back, so this game does appear to be over, unfortunately. Yeah, that just does not do enough damage. I can go for an Ariados here. Ariados will deal some damage, but that's nowhere near enough damage. I'd have to have, like, twice the attack to actually take him out there, so we do lose that game. Lead Swablu into Shadow Excadrill in the next battle. I have 2 good responses in the back, but at the same time, Swablu is also not a terrible response. Now, I can't really hit them for any effective damage, but when you look at how much damage that Ariados did, it already looks like it's neutral, so it's fine. I shield, and it's a Drill Run. Now, this might be a very smart play by them, making me think that they're not on Rock Slide, and they are, but regardless, I will be no shielding here. It looks like that was not their plan. They might just be on Earthquake. And then they send in Talonflame. Now, I will be Ariadosing the Talonflame. This damage is not meaningless, because I do think it means that a Rage Fist might put them in a Karate Chop range, I'm not sure. Rage Fist definitely doesn't. But now, I'm going to be able to shield, they Flame Charge, and now I'll be able to make it to a Rage Fist, but then the opponent sends in Tentacruel. And as you can see, I try to tap Rage Fist, and the game doesn't. Now, I'm just going to speed this up because you can probably guess what happens here. It's a poison type up a shield. Yeah, we just get destroyed. And we lose that game because Niantic. Bad lead in the next battle, and so we're just going to send in Primeape. Now, Primeape will be able to go for Rage Fist immediately. This does not get shielded, but now they're definitely in Karate Chop range. This is an Icy Wind, my attack gets reset, but that's fine. It is not, though, and then the opponent sends in Swampert. Now, this is something where I can just tap Rage Fist, so it's exactly what we're going to do. They shield, so I'm shielding back, and so now Hydreigon will get shielded. And now I'm not going to be able to make it to 2 Rage Fists, unfortunately, so I'm just going to go for 1. If the opponent lets it through, then I'll be able to make it to another one against whatever they bring in, but they do shield it. They're not stupid. Now, I'm going to send in Machamp. Machamp will outpace here. I can farm up to 5 because I didn't get 1 turn bring in, so I'll be able to go for Cross Chop. That'll take out the Machamp, and then they have Superior. I'm going to send in Swablu because Swablu actually should be fine here. If they send in Abomasnow gets Aerial Aced, so it's actually not even awful. I'm going to go for an Aerial Ace here. I think I need 2 to KO Superior. Aerial Ace, if they were at full HP, I'd probably need a bit more than 2, but since they're slightly chipped, I don't. Now, I'm going to farm up as much as I can, and now I should be 2 off an Aerial Ace, and I think they're 4 off a Weather Ball, or they're trying to go for a farm down here. Regardless, I'm going for the Aerial Ace. This will take out the Abomasnow, and we do take that game. Into the next battle, and we lead Swablu into Ariados. Now, this is a good lead for us, technically, but at the same time, they can just lunge, and I don't think I can KO with 2 Aerial Aces after a couple lunge debuffs. This first lunge will probably get them about to the yellow, and so, yeah, 1 Astonish after the lunge gets them into the yellow, and this lunge won't KO, but now this Aerial Ace certainly won't. I should probably just send in Primeape directly after, so I do just that, because I will now be able to make it to a Rage Fist on CMP. So now even if they want to shield and lunge, I will just be able to shield it, and my attack will be fine. And I'll just get a farm down. Opponent sends in what is 100% not a response to Primeape. And so now we're going to go for 1 Karate Chop, Rage Fist, and now I can go for probably 2 Karate Chops and another one, because I don't know who wins CMP here. So I will just actually farm him down. And then they send in Morpeko. Morpeko is not really going to like these boosted Rage Fists. Doesn't even matter that they're resisted. They're so far boosted that they're basically not. So Rage Fist deals a stupid amount of damage. And now we're going to be able to just take the Aura Wheel. I don't know why they Aura Wheeled. Their Psychic Fangs would have done it. But now, farm them down. And we're just going to farm down the Ariados with Swablu, because why not? So we do take that game. Lead Swablu into Jellicent in the next battle. I think in one of the previous battles, I barely beat a Jellicent with Swablu, but I think that was actually before the Astonish buff. So now this should be even more favored towards Swablu, but there's also the minor issue of combat power difference, which is about a 500 combat power difference, which makes a big difference. Then they Shadow Ball me. Not entirely sure why they did that, but then they go for a Surf, so I really don't know why they Shadow Balled a normal type. This isn't low elo, this is like 2000. Regardless, since they Shadow Balled my Swablu, I actually win the zeros here, which is hilarious. What's not hilarious is the fact that I'm about to get countered through by this Annihilape. They have a bit of energy advantage, so they're going to be able to boost their counters even earlier. And yeah, my Primeape, I think, just gets completely countered through now, which is infuriating, because Swablu just beat a Jellicent. Like, I can go for another Rage Fist, but they're going to shield it, and at this point, I can't even shield, because I'll just get countered down. So they Rage Fist, and look at the counters here. They're going to make it to another Rage Fist, and I have to shield here. I just have to pray that a Stone Edge KOs, and then they have something weak to fighting in the back that also happens to be glassy, like Ursaring or something, but I still probably get farmed down by an Ursaring. We do lose that game, though, because the Stone Edge doesn't KO. We see an Azu lead in the next battle. I have to safe switch Primeape, which, I mean, sending a fighting type into a fairy type is always going to be crazy to me, but Primeape is easily my best response here. Opponent then sends in Corsola. After I've gotten 1 Rage Fist boost, it's not a response to Primeape, because now 2 Rage Fists will KO. So I leave triple boosted here, their Corsola gets obliterated, and now they have to throw a move here. I'm actually going to shield, though, because I can... They play rough for some reason. They really shouldn't have done that. Ice Beam would have KO'd. But now I can go for another Rage Fist. That would have a triple boosted Rage Fist. If I had gotten to another one, that would have been a max boosted Rage Fist. Unfortunately, I get farmed down, but whatever. They're going to play rough the Machamp again, so they must be on Hydro Pump. There's no reason for them to be play roughing here. Regardless, I'm going to cross chop the Azu. Azu is actually going to get hit with a Stone Edge right after. So Stone Edge will take out the Azu, and what do they have in the back? They have a Dunsparce. Dunsparce is going to have to eat cross chop, and so that does a nice amount of damage, and we're just going to catch the Drill Run because disrespect. Look at this, the opponent Drill Runs, does no damage, and they just concede the match. I can't imagine how that opponent feels. They just had a Drill Run caught onto a Swablu of all things. Overall, Swablu, it's a lot of fun. It's obviously not very strong because it doesn't even hit 1,000 combat power, but it has pretty respectable bulk for something of that combat power. Now, Swablu, I'm pretty sure if you want to use something from Swablu's evolution line, I'm pretty sure Altaria is going to be better in every single way. But Swablu is kind of fun because it plays very differently. There aren't many Pokemon that have the combination of like Astonish, Aerial Ace, and Ice Beam. So it is something interesting, and you can catch people off guard with Ice Beam, like that Jumpluff user. Anyways, that's going to be pretty much it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.